And that's more than you can say for the wild claim made in this story on e-cigarettes and smoking in Sydney's Sun Herald, which was promoed on the front cover and given a full page inside.
Exclusive.
Ban considered as trial tests if vapour safer.
Australia has been a world leader in the fight against smoking, forcing tobacco companies to sell their cigarettes in plain packets with lurid health warnings. But last month, Fairfax's Sun Herald claimed that outright prohibition is now on the cards.
Australia could become the first major nation to outlaw smoking, with a federal government-funded trial about to test the viability of electronic cigarettes as a safer, permanent replacement for tobacco.
Amazing, eh? Making smoking illegal. So, would the sale of cigarettes be outlawed, or would we be thrown in jail for having a drag? Either way, it sounds crazy. But the theme of bans was repeated at the top of the page, and it was certainly what several readers picked up on.
A ban on cigarettes? The stupidity of some people astounds me.
Prohibition doesn't work.
I'm not a smoker and I don't like smoking, but this is just another example of government overreach. Free country? Pfft.
Pfft, it may be, but the story's author, Eamonn Duff, is the Sun Herald's senior investigative writer. So surely his claim that the Labor government had contemplated this ban could not be just a fantasy. Yet when we asked the former Health Minister, Nicola Roxon, she told us firmly,
Happy to say on the record that in my time as Health Minister, banning cigarettes entirely was never considered by me or the government.
So we wondered if Labor had planned it when Tanya Plibersek took over the health portfolio. But again, the answer was no. So finally we asked Australia's best-known anti-smoking campaigner, Professor Simon Chapman, whether he knew of any such plans. But again, we drew a blank because he assured us.
In many meetings with government officials over many years, I never once heard anyone talk about banning cigarettes.
But the phantom ban wasn't the only thing wrong with this Duff article.
The Sun Herald can reveal that as part of its anti-smoking reform agenda, the previous Labor government committed more than $1 million to a pioneering study that, by 2015, will determine whether or not e-cigarettes could be utilised to phase out traditional cigarettes altogether.
I love that phrase, can reveal. But we're not quite sure what they're really revealing. The $1 million grant was actually awarded by the National Health and Medical Research Council, the NHMRC. And as Nicola Roxon points out,
NHMRC research grants are not directed or approved by ministers. They are administered at arm's length from politicians.
So it was not part of the Labor government's anti-smoking agenda. Worse still, the study is not in fact designed to test the long-term safety of e-cigarettes. According to its author, Dr. Coral Gartner at the University of Queensland, it will assess the performance of e-cigarettes as a smoking cessation aid, alongside other forms of nicotine replacement therapy. So that claim's a bit dodgy too. The day after the story appeared, an angry Gartner fired off a 2-page complaint to the Australian Press Council, alleging
inaccurate reporting and a breach of the Journalist's Code of Ethics by Fairfax journalist Eamonn Duff.
That complaint has now been settled to Gartner's satisfaction, with clarifications added to the bottom of the article on the Sun Herald's website. But apart from removing the word ban from the headline, the story remains unchanged and still starts with the key claim,
Australia could become the first major nation to outlaw smoking.
So, what's the evidence for this? As far as we can see, it's zero. Zilch. Nada. So, fellas, we think it's time to put your hands up and admit you got it wrong. But don't hold your breath, folks, because, remarkably, the Sun Herald does not even accept it has made the claim, as you will see if you go to our website.